All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're laying out a clear, no-fluff blueprint for experienced software engineers just like you who are looking to make that jump into the world of applied AI. This is your actionable roadmap to get it done.
So, you're a great engineer, right? You've been building solid backend systems for years, and now you're kind of looking over at this whole AI explosion and thinking, okay, where do I even start? It can feel like you're about to start your career all over from scratch. But I'm here to tell you, that's just not true. That's right. Your years of experience building, deploying, and debugging real production-level systems aren't just relevant, they're your single biggest advantage. Trust me, companies are desperate for people who can actually ship AI products, not just play with models in a notebook. And that's you.
So, here's how we're going to tackle this. We've got a 6-part blueprint. Think of it as our game plan. We'll start with your existing superpower. Then we'll map out the essential skills you need. After that, we'll get into a 12-week mission, figure out which jobs to target, build a portfolio that actually gets you hired, and finally, lock in the winning strategy. Let's go.
Okay, first things first. Let's really dig into this idea of your engineering superpower. This isn't about what you don't know. It's all about leveraging the powerful foundation that you are already standing on.
Just take a look at this. On the left, this is you right now. You've got the hard stuff down cold, solid coding, APIs, debugging, that whole production-ready mindset. You know, the stuff that companies are desperate to hire for. And then, on the right, those are the gaps. See how small that list is? It really just boils down to getting fluent in Python and wrapping your head around a few specific machine learning workflows.
All right, so we know the gaps. Now let's draw the map to fill them in. This isn't just a random list of things to learn. This is your essential skill map, the key domains you absolutely need to master to get hired. First up, and this is non-negotiable, Python. It's just the language of AI and machine learning. Simple as that. Why? Because the entire ecosystem, all the tools, all the libraries, everything is built on it. So your goal here isn't just to learn Python, it's to get fluent, to write it just as naturally as you write Java or whatever your main language is today. Okay, let's talk about this scary part for a lot of people, the math. And I want to be super clear here. For an applied engineering role, you do not need to be a mathematician. You don't need a PhD in stats. What you do need is intuition. You need to get a feel for what's happening under the hood. You know, what vectors are doing, the basics of probability, and how a model actually learns through something called gradient descent. Next up, the machine learning fundamentals. This is your classic toolkit. You've got to be able to not just implement, but more importantly, explain core ideas like regression, classification, and why cross-validation is so important. This stuff is the bedrock for everything else we're going to build on. And this, right here, this is where you have an almost unfair advantage. MLOps. We're talking about deploying, monitoring, and scaling models in the real world. This is where so many data scientists fall down, and it's where your entire engineering background comes into play. Honestly, this is your fast track. Companies are starving for people who get production, and that is already in your blood.
And finally, let's get right to the cutting edge. The skills that are getting people jobs today, generative AI. We're going to zero in on the practical stuff, like RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. It's basically the magic that connects these huge AI models to your company's private data. Getting good at this, plus things like vector databases, is the single fastest way to be incredibly valuable in the current job market.
Okay, so we've got our skill map. But a map doesn't do you any good if you just stare at it, right? You need a plan, a mission. So let's talk about your 12-week mission. This is a super concrete, project-based plan designed to get you job ready, fast.
And here it is, the whole journey from start to finish. Just look at how this is laid out. We start with the basics, Python, then we build up through ML Core, deep learning, Gen AI, and we end right where you're strongest, deployment. It's a ladder. Each phase builds on the one before it, taking you from zero to a fully shipped, portfolio-ready AI app in just 3 months.
So how do we start? We hit the ground running. Week 1, your goal is Python fluency. And you're going to get there by building something familiar, a REST API. Then, for the next few weeks, we dive into those ML fundamentals by building a classic model, like one that predicts customer churn. These aren't just exercises. They're tangible proof that you can do the work.
From there, we move into deep learning, maybe build an image classifier. But honestly, phase 3 is the one that's going to change everything for you. This is where you build that document Q&A system using RAG. This isn't a toy project. This is a high-impact portfolio piece that is exactly what companies are scrambling to build right now.
And look,
You don't have to take my word for it. A project like this absolutely screams to a hiring manager. This person can build production Gen AI features. It's the difference between saying, I took a course, and showing, I built the thing.
And we bring it all home right in your wheelhouse. The last 2 weeks are all about MLOps. You're going to take that awesome RAG app, you're going to Dockerize it, and you're going to deploy it on AWS. This proves you can handle the entire life cycle, from an idea all the way to a running, reliable product. Okay, you've built the skills, you've got the projects, now it's time for the payoff, landing the right job. And this is key. Not all AI jobs are the right fit for you. We need to be strategic.
This table right here is your cheat sheet for the job hunt. Your absolute sweet spot, AI engineer and ML engineer. Why? Because these roles are all about blending AI with your core backend skills. They're about pipelines, systems, and MLOps. Now look at the other side. Data scientist, a bit harder. It's much more about stats and business analytics. And research scientist, I'd say stay away from that entirely. That's a whole different world of PhDs and academic papers. Focus your fire where you have the biggest advantage.
All right, you've done the hard work. You've built some amazing projects. Now, how do you make sure your resume actually shows that? It's all about providing proof, not just listing courses you've watched.
Your resume needs to scream, I build things. So instead of learned machine learning, you're going to write things like this. Built an end-to-end ML pipeline. Deployed a model behind a REST API. Implemented a RAG system with vector search. See the difference? Every single one of these points is a powerful signal to a recruiter that you are a hands-on engineer, not just a student.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. What's the one big idea, the winning strategy that really separates the people who make this transition successfully from those who just get stuck?
This, right here, says it all. On the left, that's why most people fail. They get stuck in tutorial hell. They watch courses, but they never build anything real, and they certainly never deploy anything. But on the right, that's you. That's why you're going to win, because you're going to build real, impressive AI projects. You're going to deploy them, and you're going to walk into an interview and be able to talk about the trade-offs and the whys behind your decisions, just like the senior engineer you already are.
So here's the bottom line. You are so much closer to a career in AI than you probably think. You already have the most important pieces, the engineering discipline, the production mindset, and now you have the blueprint. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?